everybody, what's up? This is Dominic DeAngelo, and it is on rvdtv.com and Bradford Media. You might notice a little different logo over in the other corner, but I'll talk about that later on. I'm here with none other than Mr. Bill Fonzie. Alfonso, we're back. We're here to talk a little bit of the human suplex machine, Taz, and Bill's history with him. But Fonzie, how are you doing, man? Great to see you again.
Hey, Dominic, Daddy, I am effing badass hardcore, Daddy. I'm feeling great. Life is very good. Very good. Winston-Salem coming up. There's a big WrestleCon up there, and I'm on it with Pitbull, Sandman, and Francine, a bunch of ECW superstars. That's coming up Thanksgiving weekend.
Ooh, yes, that's a WrestleCade. WrestleCade.
Correct. Yeah, it's badass. It's supposed to be really good. I think this is my first time up there. I think.
Fonzie, you're gonna love it. Let me tell. I was gonna try to go to this year, but I couldn't afford it. But it is such a cool, huge event. It is like WrestleCon, but it feels almost bigger and more action packed than WrestleCon. You're gonna make some good money there, I think, Fonzie.
Well, it's in the heart of Mid-Atlantic. Jim Crockett back in the days, NWA, Ric Flair, and Dusty, and all those guys, the big stars up there, Mid-Atlantic. I was there in the '80s, so I'm a part of that scene. So went to Salem. Plus, that was good for ECW too. That part of the country.
Was it really?
Yeah, we did good business in Charlotte and other places. Yeah.
I know you guys went to Atlanta for that one WrestlePalooza.
Yes. Yeah, Atlanta was great for us, man. ECW was on fire back then, and glad to be a part of it, Daddy.
Heck yeah. Real quick, before we move on, this is always a fun story, a wild story. Were you there for when New Jack punched Junkyard Dog? Did you see that?
I probably was there, but I don't remember the incident. But because there's been so many incidents with New Jack, that trans thing where he almost killed the kid and
the mass transit,
off the balcony. So many cool things about New Jack, but I probably was there, and I love JYD.
Yeah, JYD was great too. What did you get along okay with New Jack and everything? I know some people have mixed reactions with him.
Yeah, perfect with me.
Yeah. Is it true though? I only saw him as Gangsta New Jack, with the gangsters, and he wrestled a certain type of style, which was just like hardcore basically, and like not a lot of moves. But I think I remember hearing like him and Smoky Mountain Wrestling that he could actually wrestle pretty well. Is that true?
Yeah, before it became New Jack the Gangster, yeah, he was one of the boys in the territories back in the day. Yeah, he could wrestle his ass off. He could be normal. He could be a JYD or that type of wrestler. Yeah, he handled himself well. He was really good in the ring. And then the ECW brought the hardcore out of everybody, including me. We're going to be talking about Taz because ECW brought a lot out of a lot of guys. Sandman, Taz, New Jack, we were just talking about, brought the best out of him because Taz had like 4 or 5 gimmicks, and a lot of us did before we made it to ECW. Taz was Tasmania, he was Monkey Boy, he was this and that, and then he really didn't get over. He started to get over when he became Taz in 1995 in ECW.
Yeah, and you can tell too. I mean, like the reaction he got when this clip you sent me when he turned heel and aligned with you, which we'll talk about, but you could tell the crowd was into him as a babyface at first, and then really got into him as a heel as well. So, pretty. I love Taz is one of my favorites of all time.
ECW created the characters because I was a character. I don't know if it was there's such thing as a heel and a babyface, a good guy and a bad guy, but ECW was characters. They loved the character, so they related to the. If you're a bad guy, if they related to the character, and you did your job, they loved you.
That was the era of the anti-hero. Like you guys set like the precedent for almost like, Sandman kind of laid a blueprint almost in a way, rough blueprint in a way for Steve Austin as Stone Cold. And then you had just so many different names that like they act heelish, but like I think society was kind of clamoring for not the Hulk Hogan, like Boy Scout babyface anymore. They were looking more so for that
Mike, can you really name a heel in ECW right now? I mean, name a heel, but they were characters. I
they were
mean,
characters, right? Yeah, they were
yeah,
characters.
Chris
Yeah.
Candido was kind of a heel, but he was such a character. They loved him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I like you could say Raven was a heel, but he still
Oh,
got over too at certain points.
yes, and Raven was per se a heel, but he was that character and got over big. He was one of our big ECW superstars.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Before we dive into that, I know people are already asking too, and
Okay,
I
good.
talked.
I love when people ask stuff, Daddy. Hey, ask me anything. I can't wait.
Yes, so we talked a little bit on the phone yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Whatever it
Yeah.
was. But Bob Caudle passed away, the famous yes,
Yeah.
Crockett Promotions announcer and everything. Do you have any memories of him? So, J Bone is asking JB Oreo, I'm sorry, is
Yeah,
Fonzie, any
fond
favorite stories
memories
of Bob
of
Caudle?
him because in 1980 I started full time with Florida Championship Wrestling, and then after a couple of years, Tommy Young was the main guy up there. It was Bronco, Tommy Young, and
Lubitsch,
so
Bronco Lubitsch?
no, that was Texas. I'm sorry,
Texas,
Bronco
okay.
Lucas was Texas referee.
Yeah.
And he was one of the boys. But anyway, they switched me and Tommy Young. They brought Tommy Young down to Florida, and they sent me to Mid Atlantic, which was very cool for me. And I was up there a few months and got to work with all the guys, the TV personalities, and we just lost them. Damn it! Yeah, fond memories. Professional, really good at what he did at the right area, the right place. He just, made like kind of like a Gordon Soley type, ring now. He was a jack of all trades. He was, like an agent type backstage in the dressing room, cool with the boys. The boys loved him, including me.
The great thing about like guys like Bob Caudle and oh my gosh, Gordon Soley and even Bill Mercer from
Bill Mercer.
World Class Championship Wrestling, they gave like that sports like element to pro wrestling more so, where it was like they took it seriously, but they also like were able to build context and everything like that to wrestlers and storylines and certain aspects. But like they pulled a lot from like the sports environment of things too, and made it give it more of that realistic vibe to it all,
I use Gordon Soley as a marker because I thought Gordon Soley was great, just like Joey Styles was perfect for ECW, one man crew. And Gordon Soley was, it was legitimate back then. You didn't know if wrestling with people, if it was a work or a shoot. You know what I mean? And Gordon was absolutely the best, and Bob was great. Different era.
Very different era, and it is crazy too how much the landscape, not just in pro wrestling but sports, changes, and how people watch media and what people are into. And I think what is always tried and true with pro wrestling though is if you keep it like a simple storytelling aspect of like, hey, there's this guy fighting this guy's kind of bad and this guy's good, I'll root for that one, and like people get connected to it. And it's just all about what you were saying with ECW is the characters, is like people get attached to the characters, and that's what's most important. And I think if a lot of modern wrestling today sticks with that, I think, that is the company that'll get a lot of buzz in a lot of ways in good fashion. So, but yeah, I'm totally with you, Fonzie. That's like, it's totally something that kind of changes.
Speaking of Gordon Soley, I'll go back a few minutes. I'm gonna hold up a belt that Harley Race gave me, and we get to talk about this stuff in the future podcast because people ask me a lot. What was it like to be a referee back in the day with like Ric Flair and you're holding a belt, this belt right here. This Harley Race gave me this belt. It's a replica of his belt. Somebody made it for Harley, and Harley gave it to me, which is pretty cool. Uh, it's so we get a lot to talk about,
Oh yeah.
about the evolution, and this is one thing of back to wrestling. You don't know if it was a shoot or a work,
Yeah. Right. You didn't know.
And Ric Flair was so well liked. I mean, he was a bad guy because he'd come in and wrestle Barry Windham go around the whole Florida territory. Monday, West Palm, Tampa, Tuesday, Miami, Wednesday, Thursday, Jacksonville, Friday, Saturday, a spot show, and Sunday, Orlando. Repeat itself. How do we do this week after week after week, month after month after month for years, and draw 3,000 to 5,000 people every Monday night in West Palm? It was crazy how they did, but it was absolutely crazy.
Talk about, we never really touched upon this. Talk about how it was like reffing like a Ric Flair match and working with Ric Flair, like, in his prime like that.
Well, in the 80s when I worked with him the most, he was unbelievable, and for him to have a 30-minute match was average, which was very normal. And he had many 1-minute time limits and wrestled Barry Windham 60 minutes, the whole loop, like I said, Monday, West Palm, Tampa, Tuesday, Wednesday, Miami, Thursday, Jacks, Friday, Saturday, spot shows, and Sunday, Orlando. How they do that, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Ric Flair was and he's still going today. I see him on pro. I was just with him, and God bless Hulk Hogan. We just lost Hulk Hogan. I was with him at his funeral, and I've seen him since. But he lives here in Tampa Bay. He's doing all kind of stuff. He's in his mid to late 70s. He's still going as crazy. Ric Flair was a big name. Hulk Hogan is the biggest name, but nobody like Ric Flair. It was great to work with him. And I used to get frustrated, not frustrated, but 60 minutes is a long time to referee one match.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to break it down, and Dory Funk told me to do this because Dory Funk was known for wrestling 60 minutes. And so we were in a high school one time, a spot show. This was like on a Friday or a Saturday. We were like around St. Augustine, 200 miles from Tampa Bay, and we were at a high school in the gym, and we'd go there maybe once a year or something. And Barry Windham was wrestling Dory Funk, and Dory Funk was the booker, and he wanted to go a 60-minute Broadway, 60-minute wrestle to the time limit. I said, Junior, that doesn't make sense. We come here once a year. Why go 60 minutes in a spot show? I said, he said, Fonzie, this is what I want to do. He said, Fonzie, if it seems long, just have 4 15-minute matches in that 60-minute. That's what he did. He would have 4 15-minute matches, and the 60 minutes would go by like that. So then I broke it down like that, and 60 minutes wasn't nothing. But Harley Race wrestled 60 minutes a lot. Of course, Ric Flair and Dory Funk, those guys. Jack Briscoe, 60 minutes. And you rarely see any of that stuff now. You may see a 20-minute match or 30-minute match, but no 60-minute time limits Broadways.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get a 60-minute match like once a year on like any promotion now. Right? It's like any major company, whether it's WWE or AEW, they probably just do one per year. Like AEW tends to have longer matches overall, but like 60 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not against the 60-minute Broadway. I'm not complaining.
Oh, no, not at all.
But it's changed. People don't have 60 minutes to watch a wrestling match. They want everything now. Like
the attention span's so much shorter.
Right?
Right now.
Mine included, Eddie.
Yeah, everybody's included, basically.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
My Pittsburgh brother.
Yep.
Hey, can I give a shout out to a few people?
100%, Fonzie.
A good friend of mine, John from Boston, he watches religiously. He watches RBD, and he watches Fonzie. He watches a lot of big wrestling guy. Loves the business. Good friend of mine, he's watching. Another friend of mine, Chad, he's in Atlanta watching. Hey, Chad, Daddy, I'll see you in Winston-Salem Thanksgiving weekend. Just the hundreds of people, actually thousands of people usually tune in for this. Pretty good. So I hope I'm entertaining for you guys. And I don't let you down.
Over the course of the show, we typically do get 1,000 people tuning in, or at least very close to it.
Yeah, and pretty good. Throughout the month, people watch it later and stuff. We get good reviews.
Absolutely. So guys, too, if you're on rvdtv.com, be sure to hit the subscribe button, or if you're tuning into Brass Ring Media, hit the like and subscribe button on there. But hey, more importantly, be sure to get a question in. If you have a question for Fonzie, I'll pop it up on here. It always helps to use the super chat, but it's not totally necessary. I try to keep my eyes peeled, but it does help out the show if you do use super chats. But let's see. I know I did see another one. Oh, Triple E, he was asking a question for you.
Triple E, hey, the Triple E Daddy.
The Triple E. Let's see if I can find out.
Where's he from?
I don't know. Triple E, let me know where you're from. I never figured that out, I don't think. I think you maybe told me once, but I can't remember.
Right. If he's a Fonzie fan, he's got to be from the Northeast and an ECW guy.
Yeah, he definitely.
He may go back to WrestleMania 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's on the, Triple E, I think, is on the younger side. I think he's like 32 or something like that. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, that's a great photo. That's classic. Heck yeah. WrestleMania 9.
Daddy.
Yep. Okay, here's his question. Triple E asked, Fonzie, how was your trip to Loud Labs with the Sandman? Did you smoke that giant bag of bud yet? The pics on social media, the bag looked like it was bigger than you.
Damn, he's watching the Sandman podcast because I was up there visiting Todd Gordon. He's had a little health issue, but he's doing great right now. Yeah, glad to hear. But I was up there visiting Todd and staying with Sandman. I stayed at Sandman's house for a few days. He's got 2 big TVs and we watch the sports. He's a sports freak, Sandman, you know. Yeah, and his 2 boys, Oliver and Snot Nose.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, he's badass. They're all into sports and the gambling and stuff. Had a great time.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Also, Sandman said, Fonzie, I want you to go with me to this lab where they grow marijuana, make the gummies, and do this and do that. And he said, because they might want to make something of me, you know, a Sandman strain or whatever. I said, hell yeah. So we went to this multi-million-dollar freaking 1 square block where they, you know, I said, well, the one machine was $1 million. That's crazy to get a license and all that. It was pretty cool. And they gave us a big bag of weed to hold in a pitcher. I was holding 30 pounds of the best weed in the country, you know, from California. Sandman was holding a 50-pound bag. Oh, we had a great time, man. And yes, they gave me and Sandman samples of everything. They make gummies, they make this, they make the wax, they make the little sprinkle, whatever. Hell, we got a big package. Very cool. I loved it. Yeah, because I'm I smoke pot. Look, I was in High Times magazine with RVD and Sabu, Daddy.
Heck yeah. You know? Can't beat that. Can't beat that at all.
Yeah, championship pot smoker. So I fit right into the place that we went to. That was so cool. And the guy who hosted us, I forget his name, I think it was, might have been Brian. He ran the whole thing, man. And he gave us the ins and outs about, you know, about all the stuff that we buy, you know. Pretty damn cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did smoke out of the bag. He said, take as much as you want, but I was flying, so plus I'm not greedy, you know, what he gave us packages, you know. But very cool. Oh yeah, I'm glad you caught that. It was very cool.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Julie.
Triple E shouts out to the Sandman podcast. He says the Sandman podcast has been having some great content. That's what I've been hearing. They've been doing a good job. They do a really good job.
Yeah, they talk about all kind of stuff, wrestling, sports. You know what I mean? And Sandman tells it like it is, you know?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to throw a punch when it's needed.
100%. Absolutely.
Really cool and smart. Sandman's very smart.
I love Sandman. He's so cool. Yeah, he's so much fun.
I'll be with him this weekend, next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend in Winston-Salem. Me, Sandman, Franny, Pitbull, we're on the same flight together.
Oh, wow.
Bunch of EC. I think it's going to be like the Extreme Corner. Big Chris, his name is Big Chris, Big Kid, has brought us in for different events like this. He's bringing, and I think it's called the Extreme Corner, where all the ECW guys, but you know, a bunch of superstars from wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, RVD's going to be there. Rob's going to be there. I know Rob and Katie are going to be there.
I think Rob's going to be there one night, maybe more.
Yeah. He might. I'm not sure. He might be there a couple. I'm not too sure on it, but I know he'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
They're planning to go. I'm jealous. I want to go and hang out with you guys.
They just had a big one in New York this past weekend. I didn't make the big show, whatever it was.
The big event thing. That big event thing.
Yeah, the big event. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was scheduled to be there, but for some reason I got canceled out of it. But they said next year or whatever. I said, that's fine. Can't make them all, but.
Right. Can't make them all for sure. Yeah. Cool. Let me see. Yes. Anybody, if you have questions, be sure to drop them here in the chat, and I'll keep my eyes peeled for them. JB Oreo, he asked me, hey, Dom, what happened to all the other shows on here? He means on Brass Ring Media. We're doing a rebranding, so it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to have some of the shows back, and we're going to have some new shows too. So just be on the lookout. I'm going to do like a soft launch of it all. It's going to be, we're changing it from Brass Ring Media to Studio One Sports. So it's more of a different vibe for it. So just be on the lookout. I'll keep you posted on all that stuff. But thanks for asking. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Have you checked out the Undertaker's podcast at all, Fonzie? Or did you check?
I caught. I see little clips on social media where they, like 30-second clips or something.
Yeah.
That's not what I've seen, but I heard it's successful, and he's good.
Yeah. It's always neat to hear what Taker has to say. There's a lot. Right. I mean, there's so many podcasts out there, wrestling podcasts. It's just crazy.
Right. That's why I'm hesitant. I'm Fonzie. I can't compete with. I guess I can. I've been around a long time.
Yeah, I've been around a long time.
With the RVD, the Undertaker, and Sam and these guys, but I fit right in the podcast world. For some reason, I'm well liked in the business. I work every weekend, so must be doing something right. So. I'm not afraid to come out here and speak my mind and be a part of the podcast with you, Dominic. Thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I think I fit right in. If we get, we get good viewers and good. We never get a negative feedback.
No, we never get negative feedback. I mean, everybody loves the show. It's like that's a nice thing about it.
Usually, Dominic, the people who watch podcasts are wrestling fans or love wrestling like we do.
Yeah, they
you won't watch it unless you are a wrestling freak like us.
And like the neat thing about this show, Fonzie, is like we just kind of did a little example of it. Is like you've been all over the place. You've managed and refereed so many different people, so you can talk about like working with somebody like a Ric Flair, but then you can also bring on a special guest like Alex the Body, like a new guy coming in.
Alex the Body's badass. He's been working with CW, which is which is a great company. They've scheduled for this year, 2025. They've scheduled by the time of the end of December, over 100 shows.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, every Saturday, Miami. In fact, I'm there December 5th, which is unusual because that's a Friday.
Oh yeah,
but it's usually every Saturday in Miami, and every other Friday in Kissimmee, Orlando, and then they have these shows, and they're doing TVs. They're working with AEW to some extent. Everybody's eyes are on it. They're doing good. So I've been working with those guys. It's been spectacular. And Alex Abadi, we'd love to have some guys like that come on.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be really great. It would be really great.
Yeah.
We're gonna Marcus, my brother, and I. We are planning to go to Tampa here at some point. So for
you got an open invitation to stay with me for a couple of days. I got a beautiful villa. Me, my tall, blonde, beautiful Hungarian wife. She's very cool.
Heck
you guys, centrally located. I wanted to take you when it came to Hogan's place, but unfortunately he passed away. But it's still there.
Still there, Mm-hmm. I've been there before. I got to meet Hogan real quick. It was. He made a surprise appearance when I was down there helping out with Conrad Thompson stuff.
Oh, and, that's his son-in-law. That's Flair's son-in-law?
Flair's son-in-law, Conrad Thompson. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I was there for that, and Hogan made a surprise appearance and popped everybody there and shook some hands, and it was cool. It was neat to see him, and he looked great. Like the thing about Hogan is he looked like Hulk Hogan. The only thing is the only thing is he was struggling walking a little bit, but he was just walking. He was doing all right, but it was just like he still looked like Hulk Hogan. Like there's no denying that.
When you met him, he was in his late 60s. He just turned 70, before he passed, and he told me, he said, Fonzie, I didn't take a lot of bumps in my career, but I did drop the big leg for a finish. He said, I dropped it so many times that I wish I would have changed my finish. I wish I would have never done that because he would take all the bump on his, fucked up his spine. 11 back surgeries. He never got
Oh,
it right.
yeah. Oh, such a shame. Yeah. And like, you think about like how uh I guess classic that move is, but yeah, if he made the changes early on, but when you're young, you don't really think about that stuff. That's the thing.
Exactly. That's what happens to everybody. Steve Austin,
Yeah.
everybody, Shawn Michaels, Tommy Dreamers, everybody's got plastic hips or replacements. Everybody's no exceptions in this business. Once you
Yeah.
hit a certain age, you need a Steve Kern,
Steve Kerr,
everybody.
everybody. Even the guy we're going to be talking about here in a second, Taz, like he's just got some surgery and stuff done too. I know he had a procedure that's I can't remember what he was getting worked on, if it was like
Yeah, I
something
can't
on
remember either. I heard about it, and I heard he
yeah.
did well through the procedure. But
Yeah.
yeah, a good example, you know.
hmm Yeah. Well, let's talk about it, Fonzie. So this happened at November 18th, 1995, 30 years ago it was when
He believed it.
yeah, and what I was astounded by, this made me think about it, like seeing the clip, I was like, Fonzie's been in several matches in ECW. Well, how many matches did you do when you were in ECW? Because you
I
had this
just
one
wanted
against
to keep because I did that big angle with Todd Gordon.
yeah, yeah,
Originally I get a phone call from Paul Heyman, uh, and I was good to him when he was trying to break into business. He came down with Tombstone. I think we talked about this. Let me see if I can
yep,
pull up that picture real quick. I was good to Paul Heyman when he came down the floor. He was trying to break into business, and I was just nice to him and suggest a couple of things. Uh, if I can't find that picture, oh here it is. Uh,
yeah. I love this picture.
so yeah, so that's me helping Paul Heyman, and I at that time I was assistant booker. Bob Roop was a booker. This was in the early 80s, maybe 82, 83, I'm not sure. And Paul Heyman came down with a guy named Tombstone from Maryland, and he came up to me and said, "Fonzie, Tombstone's leaving. He's going to a different territory, and would you mind if I go with him to the ring for the last couple of weeks and be his manager?" And I said, "Okay."
Yeah,
Uh, and then Paul Heyman was getting choked. I mean, press slam by Scott Hall and stuff. So and then he becomes a big star. I stay in Florida, then I go to WCW, WWF, and so on. But Paul Heyman made a big name for himself and became a big star. So I just left WWF, did WrestleMania 9 in 93, and I was there almost before WrestleMania 10. I left right before that. So I get a phone call. I'm off. I just left WWF. I get a phone call. It's Paul Heyman. Hey, Paul, I haven't talked to him in a while.
right.
And now he's a huge star. He's been all over the place, made a great name for himself. And he said, "Hey, I have this company called ECW in Philadelphia, and you just left WWF. I want you to, what do you think about coming in and working 4 weeks for us and be anti ECW? Because we're this hardcore company, blood and guts type. Uh, Vince wants the doctor, his wife, and two kids at ringside. You know, uh, family oriented, family entertainment, and ECW was 97% male, the age of 18 to 31 years old, hardcore blood and guts. Fonzie wants you to come in because you just left WWF and be anti ECW and stop the violence, try to make us more family orientated. And the people hated me. So I was supposed to come in for 4 weeks, and that was out. He had
Yeah.
choked stand by 911, and that was my whole uh, deal with ECW. But for some reason, the people started hating me because I was trying to ruin their high, and I got big heat. And Paul Heyman thought it'd be a good idea for me to stay since I had the momentum going to Heat and put me with Taz because Taz had 4 or 5 gimmicks before he became Taz. He was Tasmania. He was Monkey Boy. He had this gimmick, and he got over, but he really didn't get over until he became himself, Taz. Not that they put us together and I got him over. No, uh, he was just being himself, and they put us together, man, and we took off. We could both talk, and we did. I sent you that little clip where I turned and went with Taz again when I was fighting Todd Gordon and all that, and we were a perfect match, man. So anyway, I walk into my first night in ECW. I walk in. Remember, I just left WWF, and I was making good money. I'm wearing a Rolex. I got a suit on. I walk in, $1 million luggage, and I walk in, and there's all these guys. Remember, I worked for all the big companies:
Yeah.
WCW, WWF, Florida Wrestling, Harley Race Flair. I walk in, there's the Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Taz, this guy, that guy. I didn't know one fucking person in the dressing room except for
Yeah.
Paul Heyman. I said, who the fuck are these guys? But little did I know, we're still talking about ECW's got a cult like following today.
Right.
Probably I wouldn't be here sitting talking to you if it wasn't for ECW.
It's such a wild thing because like it's such a, even in comparison to like something like WCW or like even classic WF, sometimes the one company that still really resonates with a lot of people is ECW. It's just like, even the guy, when I go to the gym, the one guy that works at the gym, he's like an older guy, and he's like, what's the best one? He's like, ECW. He's like, I watch it all the time. He's like, that was the best stuff. And like I hear that more often than not when it comes to like, how much which wrestling stands out to people. It is like the ECW.
I'm not surprised you're saying this at all, because I get the same thing.
Yeah.
I get the same thing because, I'm not saying WCW, WWF are uh, they're consistent. They're family entertainment, but ECW was a completely different thing, and there was a big market. That's why Taz and Fonzie got over so good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I just played my role. I didn't know how to, I was a referee for 18 years before I went to ECW. I didn't know anything about how to be a manager, and I couldn't do a promo or cut promos. They said, Fonzie, cut a promo where you and Taz are good. And I was take 2, take 3, take 4, you know. And I said, Paul, I'm having trouble doing promos. Him and Tommy Dreamer, Tommy's in the office and Paul was a booker.
Sure.
And he said, hey, Fonzie, just treat it like a shoot. You with Taz. You're fighting Sandman. It's going to be January 25th at the ECW Arena. Just tell the truth. And I said, okay, let me try. And I said, okay, Daddy, January 25th at the ECW Arena. Sandman, you're going to get your ass choked out by my man, Tat. I just told the truth. And, then I became One Take Fonzie. I couldn't do a promo and they said, just treat it like a shoot. Tell, you're going to be at the arena on the 25th. You're fighting Sandman.
That's it.
So it was pretty cool. And so I had a great run with Taz. Great run. I was with him almost a year, I would say.
Wow.
Almost a year before they knew he didn't need me, because Taz was so good on the mic. He was
really good on the mic. That clip you sent me, man.
Yeah, he didn't need me at all. There's this click.
Yeah, look at that. The whole crew right there. That's great. Fonzie, what I really liked about Taz, and he did, like, he was just a natural on the microphone. Like when you talk about how he just kind of just hit it with it and resonated so much with people. He was really good. Like, and I even turning back, like those kind of promos too. You don't hear that many F-bombs in a promo even today.
Right. No, that one that I sent you. Yeah. Yeah. So Taz didn't need me. And who needed me? Well, didn't need me, but I fit right in because Sabu, he didn't talk much.
Sabu didn't talk.
And me with Taz for almost a year got me acclimated to being a manager, and then I knew how to talk. You know what I mean? When I got to Sabu, and they put us with RVD, who didn't need me at all, but it was that contrast.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. And look, we were there 5 years. We did 20. ECW did 22 pay-per-views, and I was on 21 of them.
That's wild.
With my guys.
Right.
I was so fortunate to get a spot, and there was Taz, Van Dam, and Sabu, 3 of the biggest names in ECW.
Now, did you think that was Paul Heyman's long-term plan for you then when he paired you up with Taz after the fact? You think like at some point I think I'm going to pair you up with Sabu because like he probably knew how talented Taz. Do you think that was in his mind at all, or do you think it just kind of
I
happened
don't know if he
organically?
first put me with Taz, and I don't know if he was thinking about Sabu at that moment, but it eventually came to him
It eventually
sooner or
came to him,
later. Yeah,
right?
it took a minute. I don't think he said, "Oh, I'm gonna put it with Taz first and then put it with Sabu later." I think it just the momentum built up, and that's what it was meant to be.
Yeah,
And he took advantage of the situation.
yeah. How was it at that time working with Taz and stuff like that? As his manager, but I'm sure you helped him out backstage and stuff like that because Rob
Yeah,
always said how
Taz
much
was
you.
great. At that time, he really didn't need my help. He had been around the business for years already,
Yeah,
and we just clicked. We just clicked. It was all business, you know. And Taz wasn't the type of guy who would go party with us after the matches. He would go to the Holiday Inn and go to the bar and have cocktails and all that like everybody else. He was a workout machine, loved the business. And we get along great. We get along great, but it was strictly business. And, you know, Taz built himself really up really, really well. And, unfortunately for me, I didn't, well, unfortunate and fortunate for me at the same time, because unfortunately I left Taz, but fortunately I went with RVD and Sabu.
yeah, yeah. It was a win-win for both you guys because you're like you said,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Taz, he didn't need another mouthpiece or anything like that. He could speak on his
Yeah.
own, and
Yeah,
he had this
and
intimidate.
he was spectacular.
Yeah,
As was spectacular. You know what I mean? That's early on for both of us. He
yep.
had his orange and black gimmick, and I fit right in for some reason, and he got me over. Taz actually got me over. I was supposed to be there 4 weeks to get choke salmon. I was gone, but they put me with Taz, and now that I think about it, if it wasn't for Taz, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I guess.
It's a great point because it's like even in that promo, he's like, you cheer for Tommy Dreamer, you cheer for Sabu, and he's like, what about me? What about Taz? And he's
What
like,
about
I know who cares
Taz?
about me. Bill
Yeah.
Alfonso cares about me.
I said, I caught him every day. I caught him every day. Yeah. So I don't know where all that came from. That was a great segment.
That was a great,
You know,
amazing segment. Yeah,
that was all ad libbed.
yeah,
All ad libbed and just told the truth. It was so cool, man. And Taz and the people hated us. They knew it. The people know it's a work, but they hated. They hated our character. They loved our characters, so we just did good. It was a great fucking thing. And, Paul Heyman gave me the whistle, and oh my goodness.
yeah. He gave you the whistle, like, and what did he give you any parameters? He just blow on it anytime you want. How did that kind of come to fruition? Like him just giving you the
I
whistle to
don't
do?
know. So when he put me with Taz, my first night out, he gave me this whistle,
Okay,
and they gave me any parameters and say, blow it here, blow it. He just said, here's your gimmick now. Here's your
yeah,
whistle. So he gave it to me, and I blew. And actually, I was a little embarrassed to blow it.
yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt the match. I didn't want to do this and that. So I was embarrassed. So the next week, I left the whistle at home.
Oh,
So when I get to the arena, Barney was just, where's your whistle? I said, oh, I forgot. He said, Fonzie, that's your fucking gimmick. Don't forget your whistle. And since he said that, I never forgot my whistle again. And now people know me as the whistleblower. You know
oh
what I
man.
mean? They
Yeah, heck
identify
yeah.
me, and people love my whistle. I might have blew it too much or too little bit. I don't know, but I blew the hell out of it. You know my name. Oh, that's the guy who blew the whistle.
That
But
you're synonymous with the whistle.
yes,
Yes.
so it worked out okay.
You can't beat that. Can't beat that. Let's see. Now we've always let's see. Oh, Chad says there's a blooper video
Chad,
online of there's a
Chad,
Chad. Yep.
yeah,
He
he's probably from Atlanta. It's my
yeah,
boy.
that's Chad. It's
I'm
the
gonna
one
see
from
him this
Atlanta.
weekend, and he's a really cool guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
loves the business. In fact, the big show Winston Salem,
Yeah.
he's gonna dress up as Sabu.
That's
He
what he's
told me to get
saying.
all the Sabu outfit. He loves wrestling, loves RVD, loves Fonzie and Sabu. So let's hear his questions. Chad is badass. He's a cool guy. Got a beautiful. His wife's hot too. I like it.
I think I saw it's like their anniversary. Me and him are Facebook friends.
Yeah, the anniversary. Yeah.
Yep. So happy anniversary, Chad.
Happy anniversary, Daddy.
He made mention too that there's a blooper video online of you and Taz cutting promos that shows several takes. I think I've seen that. I think it's on YouTube.
I haven't seen it. Chad,
you haven't? I'll have to
send it to me.
I'll have to send it to you. Yeah.
No, Chad will. Chad, send that video to me. I haven't seen it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, shoot it over to him, Chad.
Yeah, he's my boy. I'll see him next weekend. He's a very cool guy. And he loves the business like we do, Dominic. He loves the wrestling business. I've been around it his whole life.
Oh, no doubt. Let's see. So here's a couple of off-the-wall questions here. We'll get to them, though. Hi, corporations. Thank you for the question. He said, did you hear about Lucha Underground when it was on the rise? Do you remember that promotion, Lucha Underground, at all?
I don't remember that particular promotion, but I remember the Lucha Underground, coming around and starting was big, and Super Crazy is a great example of it.
Oh, for sure, in ECW, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's when I started getting more big. But it was back then, and when I was in Florida, the wrestling back in the 80s, it was Raul Mata, and the Mexicans would come in, and, it was a big thing, but not as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah, well, Lucha Underground was a promotion. I think it debuted in like 2014 or 15 or something like that. But what it was more of a television show, like that was cinematic, and like they had a lot of like almost like supernatural stuff in it. But it was like really, really kind of dark and kind of creepy. But there was like there was a lot of big names involved with it, like that, like a lot of luchadors and stuff like that, and some modern talent too. So it was a good launching pad for a lot of those talents to kind of get their name out there in certain ways. But it was a really unique television show. It didn't last as long as it should have, but it was great. People always like praise it, how great and fun it was. So it was a kind of a different realm of things.
Can I name one superstar, Mexican superstar that I got to work with? It was the tail end of his career. He had already been wrestling 30 years. So I started in Florida, May of 1980, and I got to work with guys like Bobo Brazil, Bearcat Wright, Ernie Lau, all these guys that were finishing the business. They had been wrestling for the last couple of years, and I got to work with them in my first couple of years. Mil Mascaras. I got to work with Mil Mascaras.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a legendary name for sure.
Yeah, so I got to work, and he was luchador style. He was completely different because they would bring him in Florida wrestling like once a year. They would bring him in for the 5 days to make the loop, and he was doing stuff I wasn't ordinary to. Jack Briscoe and all these guys, Bobby Duncombe and all these guys, Bobby Duncombe Sr. and all these guys. He was totally different,
Right, for sure. What else was I gonna see here? There's a couple other good questions here. Mike D has this pick'em for you: Taz versus Sabu or Taz versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Which one was more your style, Fonzie, to pay if you were to watch a match?
Bam Bam and fucking Sabu could work with Taz.
Oh yeah.
But did Taz go through with Bam Bam? Did they go through the ring? Was that? I think it was maybe Taz.
Somebody let us know in the chat if that's what happened. I need to more acclimate myself with some of ECW. Like I got to go back and watch because that was before my time a little bit. I got in a little bit later on, like 1998, and I was a WCW kid. So a lot of the ECW
started to kick off really good in 1990.
Yeah.
When I got there, we were already on a roll and it just built up from there. So I think it was a match between Bam Bam and Taz where they got it right, and Taz was on the back of Bam Bam doing a chokehold, and Bam Bam went back and they both fell through the hole of the ring.
I think you're right, Fonzie. I think you're right. I think I remember seeing that now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a highlight reel now, but yeah.
Man.
What was the question?
They were just asking what would you rather see, Taz versus Sabu or Taz versus Bam Bam?
Well, I think Bam Bam was one of the better big man workers in the business, fantastic. But I prefer, I guess, Sabu because Sabu would bring the best out in Taz. You know, Taz, was great, but Sabu was a different style than everybody else, and he brought Taz not out of his shell. He was never in a shell,
Yeah.
but he brought the best out of Taz, and would do different stuff that normally he wouldn't do in a match.
The
You
thing with
know?
Sabu is like I love Bam Bam, and he's so unique in his own way. And
Yeah.
obviously, like his match with RVD and stuff is so
Oh my
legendary.
God, yeah. That's
And
who RVD beat for the TV
yeah,
for this belt right here.
look at that.
We were the longest reigning 2 years, 3 months, 14 days, and we had this belt. We beat Bam Bam Bigelow in Buffalo, New York, at the Burt Flickinger Center. Uh, Bam Bam put RVD over, and we had this belt for over 2 years. And thanks. And oh my God, they had some great matches. Bam Bam was tough. He didn't mind taking an ass whipping. And RVD was a little bit known for being a little stiff.
Oh yeah,
But you know, but he would take it stiff too. He didn't,
yeah. He didn't care. Rob didn't care.
Oh yeah. Which made better matches. Which made
Yeah.
That's right. And he got over. RVD's badass. Him and Bam Bam had spectacular matches. And
Well,
I had ringside seats, Daddy, and I was involved in most
yeah,
of it.
you're a front row seat, baby. Even
yeah,
closer to
Daddy.
front row. Yeah. JB Oreo does clarify. He says it was ring first, so I guess the ring incident happened with Taz and Bam Bam in New Jersey, and then the ramp and the rematch that they had apparently.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what happened. So, all right, here's a couple more questions, and then I guess we'll close it out here. But let's see here. Oh, here's a good one. Pyrus Wrestling. Fonzie, do you remember Kurt Angle showing up in ECW in 1996 to see Taz and doing commentary on the match?
He showed up for a couple of nights, and we did that angle where we crucified Sandman. Now you gotta remember, Kurt Angle just came in. He's green about the wrestling business. Just came in. He's the national hero, Olympic medal, gold medal, and so he brought it. And so he was just trying to get his feet wet, and WWF didn't get a hold of him yet, or WCW, but they eventually did. He made big money, but he came in a national hero, and he's seen Sandman all juiced up with barbed wire around his head, like a halo, and so and a cross, like he looked like Jesus. You know what I mean? Barbed wire. And oh my, I can't have nothing to do with this, beyond me. But yeah, that was his first taste of ECW, and I got to meet him. And of course, I've met him throughout the years. I just got inducted into the Cauliflower Hall of Fame last year. And when Kurt Angle was one of the inductees too. Me, Kurt Angle, and a couple other big famous guys, the Dudleys, and several big superstars, Sting, Luger, we all got inducted.
What a great class that was.
Yeah, here it is right here, Cauliflower Alley.
Right. Boom, look at that. That's great. Such a great award too. And that was just for you as a referee too, not as a manager.
Yeah. No, as a referee, yeah. Brian Blair's one of the he runs the show, him and Medusa. Brian's the president, and if you guys haven't been to Cauliflower Alley, they have it once a year. I think next year would be the 60th year. They've been doing this 59 or 60 years. And all the money goes to, back to the guys who need help. Like Brian Knobs has been down and out with his health. And, Cauliflower Alley helps guys like that, when you need it.
It's a great cause, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Especially if you're a wrestling fan.
It's a big event. People look forward to it to come out. It's a 3-day event in Las Vegas. People fly out and spend 3 days there. There's things every night. It was spectacular. I was thrilled to go.
I think you can become a lifetime member. Last time I checked, for like $300.
Yeah, it's not expensive at all.
Yeah, and I don't know how much it costs for a year membership. That's what I did. It was either $100 or $150 or $50. I can't remember, but either way, it's good because if you're a fan and you want to give back to the wrestlers, in a great fashion, Cauliflower Alley Club's a way to do it. And then plus on top of it, like you get the invitation to go out to the reunion show like that too.
It is a pretty damn big event. It's like their WrestleMania, you know.
Yeah, it's really nice, and
Cool.
it's
And
kind
it's
of
in
like
Las Vegas. Yeah, spectacular, man. I had a ball. My
me
wife and I
too.
went.
It was
We had a ball, man.
We had a great time, and then that neat aspect about that too is you get people from all different generations of wrestlers showing up. There's like modern talent there, like guys and gals that are currently wrestling, and then you have obviously your legends, and you have some of the old timers there too that were inducted many years ago as well, and then the wives of like legends who's passed and everything. Like Brody's wife is there. Bruiser Brody's wife is
She's
usually a
always there.
barber.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's a really nice turnout and a communal event for fans and for wrestlers in the business. So it's a really unique type of event that I encourage everybody to check out. And plus, it's in Las Vegas, and you can't beat that.
Right, Daddy, right there. And you went in RVD. RVD was sitting at my table. Him and Mama to be beautiful Katie. They were at my table when I was getting inducted. It was very cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Devin Dowling asks you, Fonzie, ever been to Watertown, New York? That's where I'll be for the Hardy Party and Godfather show this weekend. Watertown, New York. Does that sound familiar to you?
It sounds very familiar. It sounds like an ECW town.
Doesn't it?
You know? I'm sure I've been there. I'm sure. But I remember Buffalo and, of course, the big city. What a thrill. One of my favorite arenas on the planet, and the most famous. What's the most famous arena on the planet?
Oh, Madison Square Garden.
Yes. Can you believe I got to go there and referee? When I was there in '93 with Vince McMahon, and I changed the dress code. So I get my booking sheet, and it says MSG. I said, JJ Dillon, where's that? MSG. He said, Fonzie, that's Madison Square Garden. So I said, oh my God, I'm going to the most famous arena on the planet to referee. So I got weeks to plan. So, I get dressed up. I walk in. I get a suit on. I'm wearing a Submariner. I get a beautiful robe. And back then, remember the Zubas?
Oh yeah, yep.
The pants, the Zubas, the gym pants type thing, and everybody was wearing them. So I walk in, and I get there about 5 o'clock, and Vince McMahon and the referees and a bunch of wrestlers at ringside, and I walk in, and everybody's in Zubas and shit. I walk in dressed to beautiful, and Vince calls me over and says, hey, all you referees and managers, you see how Fonzie's dressed? From now on, I want everybody to dress like that at any big show. And I got heat with the referees. Fonzie, why'd you have to dress like that? You make us look bad. I said, further, we're Madison Square Gardens. Why wouldn't I dress like that?
Yeah.
But most famous arena on the planet. So that the kid asked if I got wrestled in Waterloo. I really don't remember, but I wrestled in multiple towns in New York City. New York, period. New York, all over New York. So I'm sure I have.
Yeah, very hotbed wrestling area, especially for the ECW and stuff too, and WWF obviously too.
Yeah.
Devin also asks you, what's Fonzie think of Taz's commentary over the years?
I think he's gotten better. When he first started, he was a little wet behind the ears, but he had so much knowledge of being wrestling for years. It just took him a minute to be spectacular. Taz is doing a great job.
Taz is amazing. He's so funny on commentary.
Yes.
But he can also do the side thing where he like breaks it down like from a move and like scientific standpoint.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, he has a lot of wit. I think he brings a lot to the table. Taz is fantastic.
Yeah.
He got better as time went by.
Podcast Jones over here. He always says something Jones. Pops me
right, Daddy.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more questions. Okay, so let's see. There's a War Games match going on. Did you ever be a part? You never refereed a War Games match, did you, Fonzie? Like with the two cages and the rings.
I'm not sure, but if they had them there in WCW and WWF, I was there for 5 years in both companies.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Maybe you might have did one in WCW, but I don't think you probably did. Now that I think about it, because it's like happened like once a year, and I don't know if you ever got around to do one. But Maddie asked this question: if Fonzie could side who would you side with? Okay, I'm just gonna break it down from this point. Paul Heyman has a team for this upcoming pay-per-view in WWE.
Okay.
Or would you side up with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes' team? Now you have an allegiance with Paul in a certain way, but you also have an allegiance with Dusty Rhodes. So which team would you go with? Would you go with Cody Rhodes' team or would you go with Paul Heyman's team?
And I do like Punk.
And you
I
do
do
like
like
Punk
Punk
too,
a
yeah,
lot.
right? Punk
Yeah, I
is
like
great.
Punk. Yeah.
Punk
And
is great.
Cody's holding his own. He's got a lot of shoes to fill, being Dusty's kid and all that. But he's done really well. He looks fucking great. He looks great.
Yeah.
I might go with Dusty's kid.
Hey, there you go.
Just because I was a part of the American Dream.
Yeah.
There's the Cody's dad right there. American Dream, Daddy. And
Yeah.
here he is on the cover. I've been on so many covers, but this is one of my favorite covers.
Oh, that's a great one.
Kevin Sullivan, Dusty, Fonzie on the cover. This is Bill Apter's magazine.
Yeah.
He's
That's
been
awesome.
around so many. I've been so fortunate to be in so many magazines. Here's one of the largest Japanese wrestling magazine. I'm on the cover with Giant Gonzalez. Flew
heck
over, I think it was 91. I still got my plane ticket and I got that robe, for the hotel.
That's awesome.
Magazine. Pretty cool, man.
65,
Dominic, 65,000 people.
Wow.
An indoor Tokyo show. Fujinami against Ric Flair, and they wrestled, and I got to be the referee. Was, chance of a lifetime. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's freaking great. Yeah. No, some good stuff. Yeah. I think, you'd fit right. I would love to see you manage CM Punk. I think that'd be awesome if you
I think I would fit in perfect with CM Punk.
Wouldn't you?
Man. He likes me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Punk is great. He's always on the top of his game, and Cody's so fun too. So, yeah, no, I think you made the right choice, Fonzie. All right. I think that will do it. Cool. This was fun, Fonzie. We'll have to do it again here soon.
Thank you so much, Dominic. Thank you to the hundreds and thousands of people that are listening live. And
we almost got 1,000 in today. Almost got 1,000 people tuned in live right now.
And throughout the month, we're gonna hit several thousand, hopefully.
Yep.
It's always cool, man. Thanks for letting me entertain you for a minute, guys. And this the next. Let's see, Thanksgiving weekend. North Carolina, Winston-Salem. I'll be there with the ECW crew and the Extreme Corner with Francine and everybody else and Sandman. I got a Miami show coming up with CCW on the 5th. On the 13th of December, I go to AWA. They're having a big show up in Maryland. I'm on that one. I'm kind of commissioner and working in the office there a little bit. But I live in Tampa Bay. Yeah. I love it. They do good business. Great company to work for. Don's a promoter. I got all kind of stuff coming up. All kind of cool stuff coming up.
Well, keep your peepers peeled, everybody. And Fonzie, anytime you want to send me something to promote, let me know. Send me the link, and I'll be sure to tweet it out and stuff like that too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, my pleasure. So, yeah, guys, be on the lookout for what Fonzie's up to. But WrestleCade's the next big event coming. Thanksgiving weekend. That's in Winston-Salem. I'm not lying. It is seriously the funnest wrestling convention I've ever been to is WrestleCade because they have they got wrestling shows there, and there's anybody you can ever think of that doesn't work for WWE that is there. Like it's a hell of a presence. It's such a fun event. It's like, and it's a great time. Like people are just excited to be there, and you'll be able to tell why when you're there.
And true wrestling fans. That's what I like about these conventions because the people who come to the conventions, not only the wrestlers and the talent who we love the business like me and you, Dominic, all the wrestling fans who love the business. Perfect opportunity for you to get up and close with your favorite people. If you haven't met me before and want to hang out with me, I'm available. I'm going to be there for 2 days. I'm pretty fucking cool to hang out with.
He's pretty damn cool to hang out with for sure. And the neat thing is Fonzie, when you see his setup too, he's the best presenter of a wrestling table I've ever seen. He knows how to set things up and make it all look good.
I have some cool ECW jackets like this one.
Look at that thing.
RVD, Fonzie Sabu, Hardcore Lenses Tour.
Look at that jacket. Man, somebody's got to go pick that up.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I'll probably bring it 10 or 12, but usually it's all good quality, like Nike and no bullshit, all 5-star stuff. And of course, I have pictures and all kind of cool stuff. So yeah, come hang out with me, Daddy. I can't wait. I can't
That's
wait.
it. That's it.
Thanks, Dominic. You're the best, and I
Hey,
hope your
you're the best
brother's
too,
doing
Fonzie.
well. Hope your brother's doing well, and hopefully I get to see you guys, and maybe you're coming down to Tampa Bay in a couple of months, or
Absolutely. I'll keep you posted because yeah, I know Marcus wants to wrestle down there, and we're gonna try to make the trip here at some point. Yeah, maybe at the turn of the year or something. I'll definitely keep you in the loop though, Fonzie, because I
perfect.
really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Dominic, Daddy.
Yeah.
My best to RVD and Katie. I'm gonna be Uncle Fonzie. I can't
I
believe
know,
it.
right?
Can't
It's
believe
so
it.
cool. It's so
What
great.
a
Like,
year, man. What a year we've had.
what a
I'm
year
working
indeed.
every weekend almost. I'm booked. RVD's having twins. Life is good.
Life is definitely good, and it's always good to
Oh,
chat with
yeah,
you,
Daddy.
Fonzie. And great to chat with all the fans here too. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Devin Dowling, Triple E, Maddie, Chad. We got John in the house, JB Oreo. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much, Mike D and Perez, everybody, Die Corporation. So thank you all. And if you guys do tune in right now, be sure to like the channel, hit subscribe, help out, support us. And then on top of it too, yeah, be sure to tune in later on. I'm going to put this up as an audio too on the RVD podcast YouTube podcast feed. So be on the lookout for that as well. I'm going to start doing that a little bit more with the Fonzie show and getting those episodes up. So thank you all for tuning in. And Fonzie, we'll see you next time. He always calls it. Where Fonzie? Where you call it?
Right down the middle, Daddy. And
Heck
as my
yeah.
good friend Gordon Soley would say, so long from the Sunshine State.